Tune in, turn up, it's time to go. Deep talks and a crazy show. It's Toon Along, yeah, you know the name. Big ideas, fun and games. Hit that play, don't miss a beat. This is the podcast where we all meet.
Beep, 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 beep. What's going on, everybody? I hope everybody's doing okay. It's Thursday night. It's an early Thursday night evening for myself. It's 11:30 at night. Usually, I like to do these on right around 2 a.m. So right now at 11:30, let's get things going with an episode of Biker Mice from Mars, the 2006 series. Let's go with that one. I wanted to do the original, but I couldn't find it. I was having a hard time. But I have the 2006 series. We got ourselves with Season 1, Episode 8. Let's go ahead and get into it and talk about it and see what we can do. All right. 3, 2, 1, play. So, it's starting. Okay, it's a preview to the episode or a little intro. So, from what I remember from the original show, is the main bad guy. That's probably not the main bad guy that's got the purple suit. The guy with the big, the guy with the big suit. And he's got oil slick, one of those guys. With a big barrel of oil on his back and a gun, shooting oil, making everybody all slippery and wet. And then there's the doctor with the one-eyed magnifying glass, or the monocle, if you will. And then there's a guy inside of a chair. I remember that. I don't know. This show, okay, so what I remember from this show, like Biker Mice from Mars is an really early on cartoon that was really popular for maybe a year, but it was a solid year. And what I mean by that is I remember the show playing on YTV. I remember it playing on Saturday mornings. I remember my dad giving me a couple toys from the actual series, the cartoon series. He gave me the guy with the metal arm. He gave me that guy. He had a football launcher. He had like a football launcher you would put on his arm and you would shoot it. And it actually shot pretty far. And that football was quite heavy. If I could find it, I have the toy, but I don't have the football. Then I had another one, the main character. He's actually had 3 toys or 4 toys. Now that I think about it, it's pretty good show. But the other toy I had was the main character. He's basically it's part of the sports lineup. He's a baseball player. He's got a gun that shoots baseball bats, and then the other guy, the gray guy with the with the piercing on his ear, he's a football guy. And I don't remember what the other guy is. The other guy might have been a hockey or basketball. I don't know. And then the best toy, probably the pièce de résistance, is the main character. The main character, the way he looks in the 90s show, and he's got his his motorcycle that shoots bullets out of the tailpipe. And what else? Yeah, and it's just a cool character. He rides. He's the main character. If you got a motorcycle, I mean, it's Biker Mice from Mars. If you can get at least one of the toys, you might as well try to get one with a motorcycle. And that was the way it was. I was so happy to have that. And one character I almost forgot to mention is I have that giant oil guy, the big guy with the red hat. Okay, boss. One of those, that guy. He's, I don't know if he's in this new Biker Mice from Mars. Now, I'm looking at new Biker Mice from Mars right now, right? Guys, we're all queued up. If you guys are watching the episode, they're flying in the sky, and they just landed, okay? And there's a big 18-wheeler. Now, when I'm looking at this animation right now, what does it remind you of? It just reminds me, for myself, this reminds me of X-Men, the animated series, becoming X-Men Evolution. If you guys remember X-Men Evolution, if you watched X-Men Evolution, the only X-Men you ever had before then, it might have been the movies, but the only X-Men you would have had before then, cartoon-wise, was animated series. And then X-Men Evolution comes out, and you're going, wow, this is nice. This is like, Batman Beyond, but for X-Men. Now I'm watching this, and this is like Batman Beyond, but for Biker Mice from Mars. All right? This is great. This is a great show. Look at this. Look at the way it's done. They definitely cared. There's a lot of detail. It's, what this reminds me of? I know what you're thinking. This reminds me of what's the fucking Thundercats, the new Thundercats. Remember when they rebooted Thundercats back in 2000? I think it might have been the same year. It might have been 2006, 2007. Thundercats came back. I remember my cousin showing me the first 2 episodes. I remember going, wow, this is great. So I watched the rest of them. It was a great show, great series. And then they stopped making it, or I don't remember what happened, but they stopped making it. And then Biker Mice from Mars totally slipped under my radar. I was watching, I was watching Rick and Morty at the time. I was watching all these other shows. And then I finally found out about it. And then when I tried to find it, I couldn't find it anywhere. It basically had passed. It was a 2006 only thing. Had maybe a season or 2. Let's take a look. Yeah, it only had 1 season, but 28 episodes. That's quite long. So it's a nice reboot. It's a nice 28 episodes. If you guys are hardcore fans of the show, it's a nice reboot. But now that I'm watching it, this is really my first time watching it, actually watching it like this. I just skimmed through it before, but Biker Mice from Mars, from what I recall, was just a bunch of characters, a bunch of cartoon characters, 90s characters, going around, shooting stuff, blowing stuff up, getting out of there with their motorcycles, selling toys. My grandparents, actually, this is a funny story. My grandparents actually had a Biker Mice from Mars puzzle. Out of all the toys they had for kids, they had a few toys, right? They had little toy soldiers and Indians, with cowboys and Indians and all that. They had all these little toys, old school toys. But one thing they had that always surprised me was the fact that they had a Biker Mice from Mars puzzle set. And I'll never forget, sitting there doing it. And then they had another puzzle set that was like, it was basically paintings. It was a drawing. An artist had drawn this, painted this, and it looked like real dolls. They were dolls, but they looked like real children, right? It was kind of freaky. I understand why grandparents would have bought this, was happy. But as a kid, playing with this and building it, it was kind of creepy. So I just played with the Biker Mice from Mars puzzle, and everything was good. Another fun story is I remember going to my grandparents' house, for Saturday afternoon. My parents are going out for dinner and they need somebody to babysit me. So I go to my grandparents' house and I go rent a movie at the, Blockbuster or whatever back in the day. And it was a VHS, and I remember renting Jackie Chan's Who Am I? If you guys haven't seen that one, it's not so much a popular Jackie Chan movie. Maybe now more people would have seen it with the internet and everything. But back then, not many people saw that movie. It didn't get a good rep. But if you have a chance, go watch it. It's a good movie. It's a good one-time movie. You'll really get into it. Just, don't be too hard on it. It's fantasy, and obviously it's fantasy action, make believe. So just go with the flow and enjoy. Jackie Chan won't disappoint. Yeah. Look at the bikes. The bikes are all in CG. I don't think the bikes were in CG at all back then. And there's those big hooves, those big legs, man. I'm not a big fan of that. I consider it the Tonka. And even Tonka back then, if you look at Tonka, the old Rescue Heroes and Tonka shows, they had big feet, right? Big wide feet, more for kids. And if you look at it today, it's not that bad compared to what they've been doing. Oh, look at that. They've got the Green Lantern beam. There's the guy with the robot arm I'm talking about. That's the guy with the football. So they're at Mount Rushmore. Richie Rich's head. So he can fly. No, he didn't fly. He would have fisted him right up his ass. Oh, I'm a cat. This reminds me a little bit of Earthworm Jim. You need to bring and destroy. See, there's the guy. But now they look a little bit more malnourished. They look more emo. They look more skinny. I don't know what it is. Back then, they used to look like smoking cigarette, smoking cigar, hustling, gangsters, just kicking space butt, right? Now they just kind of look like teenagers. Maybe that's the point. Maybe they just kind of wanted to mellow it out. But it's a good show nonetheless. I mean, you can't be too hard on these shows. They just wanted to bring it back for the fans. I don't know. I hope the fans really enjoyed this show. I'm certainly enjoying it. It makes me, remember the good old times. If you guys remember, there was a Super Nintendo video game that came out For Biker Mice racing game. It was pretty good. I mean, you go around the circles, it gets pretty boring after a while, but it's fun once you get used to the controls and the flow. Kind of reminds you of an F-Zero, but from the upper. You know when they have those RC racing games back in the day on NES? Super Nintendo might have had one or two, but this is kind of like you see the whole entire map and you're driving from above, controlling it, almost like you were controlling a remote control car. And I just remember playing that game for hours and hours on Saturdays and just trying to see what I could get out of it. I think there was weapons. I think there was power-ups, boosts. But I just remember double lapping, triple lapping, maybe even, milking the game for what it was. But I remember having a lot of fun with that game. The cover was fun. The music was good. But just that game alone doesn't get a lot of rap because it is a boring game. I mean, what are you going to do? Go around in circles? How many times can you go around in circles, right? So play the game. Watch some Biker Mice from Mars, the old Biker Mice from Mars. Then go play the game again. Then go watch the new Biker Mice from Mars. And compare the two and see what else is out there. There must be other things. Like I said, there's toys. This show kind of reminds me a little bit of Reboot. Reboot had one game that came out for it. Now, there's a reboot series, right, that came out with real people and all that. But this reminds me a bit of this. Like, they came out with a reboot for that, for Biker Mice from Mars. So, just a lot of similarities out there to point out. I need my wheels bad. What do you think he's saying? What does he mean? The old classic type, the old bad guy. Nothing bad can happen from that. He'll never escape. So, bottom line, Biker Mice from Mars, I don't know. What do you guys think about it? I still think the original is better. Maybe the animation on the original might not be as good. Might be, obviously it's older. It's from the 90s. But I just feel like the original characters, their attitude, the way they act, the way they are, is just as important as the way they're supposed to look and feel. So if you're missing one or the other, I don't feel like you're gonna have much of a show. And like you got Batman Beyond, because you're bringing back Bruce Wayne, the old Bruce Wayne, and incorporating him with the new characters and the new world and the future. I'm okay with that. But this to me is just like they're trying to bring back the characters, change them a little bit. Like Thundercats did that a bit, but they still kept with the tradition. I still felt that tradition of it. This one here just feels like they changed a bunch of the bad guys. This is supposed to be like April O'Neil right now with the Thundercats. I don't remember. I don't know. You know that guy, the white mouse with his, he looks like Kano or Kane from Mortal Kombat, the guy with the red eyes. He's the first character I've ever seen in Mortal Kombat. I remember there was a sticker back in elementary school, and during lunchtime, somebody had that sticker on a book, or I might have had it in my agenda or something. And I just remember somebody giving it to me, and I just remember asking, "Who is this character? Where's this guy from?" And people said Mortal Kombat. I'm thinking, well, how can this human, be in a video game? And they're like, no, Mortal Kombat the movie. And then years went by. People talked about it. It was such a good movie. Finally, it comes out. I asked my father to record it. He records it. 1 and 2 play back to back, by the way. This is the first time watching Mortal Kombat. First one plays, and I'm dying. This is the best movie I've ever seen at the time. This might have been like back in 99, 2000, right? And I'm watching it, and it's amazing. What a great movie. And I'm so pumped. Then the second one comes on, and then it starts off, and it's like, what the fuck is this? What happened to Mortal Kombat? And then you're like, okay, well, I'll do my best to enjoy it because I just watched the first one, and the first one got me so pumped. So for all you people out there that are gonna watch Mortal Kombat for the first time, if you guys just want to really enjoy the original way to watch it, just watch the first one, give it a break. Maybe a few months later, watch the second one, and then you'll see what I mean. But don't watch them back to back right away if it's the first time. That's my experience. Kind of downgraded it, but not really. But you know what I mean. I went back and watched the first one again. But play some video games, play some arcades, call your buddies up, play some. They're always coming out with new Mortal Kombat games. I'm stunned, honestly. How many more fighting games are they gonna make? They got to make another Tekken game, Tekken Cross Street Fighter, or Tekken Cross Capcom, Marvel Capcom, something like that. A big crossing everybody over and just making a big fighting game. That'd be cool. It'd be tough to balance, obviously, but it'd be cool. So now we're back in the lair. Look, those motorcycles, they're dancing. So their motorcycles can move around. See what I mean? Like that guy on the left kind of looks like Rocksteady from TMNT. But he looks like a modernized X-Men Evolution version. Interesting, Doctor. I'm Brown Beast. I'm Beast's brother. Oh no, don't. And they changed the bikes. Okay, now I failed to even mention that. Yeah, I'm looking at my old Biker Mice from Mars bike, and they look nothing like the ones from there. These ones here look more sporty. They look more, like racing bikes. The old one I used to have, that one was more of a Harley. It was more of a gang, old school motorcycle gang, leatherhead, wearing personnel. But I just realized something. When they had the little cutover, right, when they showed the logo, that logo still looks like the original. It still has the original tint to it, shading. And the other thing I'm noticing too that I'm missing, or I might be mistaken, is the old one is drawn with animation cells. This new one here, this 2006 version, I'm having a hard time telling. I think some of it is animation cell. I think it's actually hand drawn. It's not drawn on a computer. It might actually be drawn traditional style, because it is in 4x4 format. It's just a nice square, or 16x16, whatever it is. And but I'm not enjoying those bad guys. I'm not enjoying the other characters. Like those three main characters don't look that anything interesting to me. I wish you could have that big bad guy. The guy looks like the Kingpin. He's a wicked bad guy. When I think of Biker Mice from Mars, I think of him. I think of obviously the mice. It'd be funny if Biker Mice from Mars had a sensei and he was a turtle. It'd be appropriate. No, but mice is obvious. Like Biker Mice from Mars, they've got, their biggest enemy are cats. Makes sense. Can you imagine cat people and mice people? Look at that green back there. Their windows are, they're not trying to blend in at all. Let me show you how we've been staring at these bikes for the past half hour. Let me show you how to destroy them. What do you mean you couldn't destroy them? You had them tied down with rope. And this whole time, you're just going to hold on to the bikes. Just destroy them. They're your mortal enemies. Hey, that sounds like our good old pal Rob Paulson from Animaniacs. The old voice of Wacko or Yakko Warner. But he's in a bunch of stuff, and he's, when you think of cartoons, there's obviously going to be one person with that voice in any cartoon. So it's a very emulated voice. It's a very common voice. Same with Tom Kenny. Just trying to have that goofy, wacky, neurotic voice in your head that everybody's thinking. Where would this have played? Okay, the 2006 Biker Mice from Mars. I feel like this is something that would have been appropriate, like around Fox Kids, right? Fox Kids would have played something like this. It would have been good. But 2006, this would have played maybe on the Vortex right at the end. When did Vortex end? That was 2000. Oh, no. 2006? What am I saying? I'm thinking of 2016. Jeez. 2006. Yeah, this would have played maybe on Fox something. WB Cartoon Network, one of those. I don't even know. listen, we gotta get in there and do what we gotta do. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of anything of this show. The only thing that reminds me of Biker Mice from Mars at all are the outfits that the main characters are wearing. That's it. Their bikes don't look the same. Their attitudes are roughly similar, but they're more childish. And everything else just doesn't remind me at all. There's no scientist that from the old show. There's a scientist, but he's a cat. But there's none of the old humans. The big boss, bad guy, the kingpin, he's not in this. The bikes don't look the same. I'm just gonna complain. I mean, it is what it is, right? But why the bikes? I don't understand, because the bikes looked so cool. That was such a major aspect of the show. It was one of the main reasons I actually bought a bike or wanted to get a bike for my birthday or Christmas back in the day. But anyways, I wonder how many of these toys got sold after 2006. These 2006 toys. See, that's the whole thing. If you're gonna remake a series, if you're gonna remake a show, back in the 90s, it was the era of spontaneity. Just whatever's wacky, whatever's crazy. Yeah, if you can come up with it, we'll put it on the screen. Today, the people that are doing their own thing, it's good. I mean, I'm for that. But if you're gonna take an old show like this and rebuild it and rehash it, at least do it at least keep the main characters, keep the main bad guys, keep the original core aspect of the show. Everything else, the story can change. You can change the story to modernize it with modern times. Or maybe, what if their motorcycles leveled up and then they started looking like the way they're supposed to, or they break and it's part of the story. I haven't gone through there. What if, I don't know. Guys, that's the end of the episode. That was fast. That was a fast episode. So, what do you guys think of the episode? Let me know what you guys thought in the comments. That was good. I enjoyed that. It's been a long time since I watched a good cartoon. I haven't made many episodes. I've just been hanging out, relaxing. I bought a new truck, a new pickup, and been playing around with it, using it for some work stuff, and just, trying to make the best of it. And in these recent times, I hope everybody else out there is doing good and staying positive and just trying to hang out, stay out of trouble, watch some cartoons. And hopefully this summer we can get to some more commercials, to just do some more stuff, make some more videos. I got some more collection stuff I want to go through. I haven't gone through much. I haven't had the time. I haven't had the setup. I want to get other stuff. Before you make a video, you don't want to do all your videos and then all of a sudden you get more equipment and then you could have done it better. So I kind of want to just take my time, do things right, and just go one day at a time. So I hope everybody out there is doing good and staying peaceful, and we'll talk soon, all right?
Thanks for listening. You can find the podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and all your favorite platforms. Check out YouTube for retro content. Follow us on Twitter and Facebook, and visit toonalong.com for more info. Support us on Patreon, and we'll catch you next time.
Toon Along, yeah, you know the name. Big ideas, fun and games. Hit that play, don't miss a beat. This is the podcast where we all meet.